Hey, welcome back to Skaana Exotics, and today we're unwrapping our Formica Black Forest ant. So, like the intro said, it's been over 2 weeks now. It's actually been about 4 weeks, coming up 5. The longer that you leave the ants at the beginning, kind of the better. The queen ant, that is, anyway. The black forest ants have a tendency that when the queens are disturbed as they are setting up the colony, they have a tendency to kind of think, my babies look delicious, they do. Yeah, I'm gonna eat them. And then they eat their babies. So we've been trying our utmost to kind of, well, absolutely ignore her. So she's lived up here, protected by the pet rock and roll lanyard. And today we're going to check up that she hasn't, exploded or died or melted or whatever ants do, which, is a mystery to many scientists. It's not, they kind of know what a lot of ants do, but there's a lot of ants that... Let's get her down. Let's pull her from her throne and bring her to the incredibleness of the little tongs. I can't think of what word I would... Just got me on some tongs! So let's get her down. Oof, careful, careful, careful. Careful, careful, careful. Let's move this along, because that's where everything should be happening. Woo-hoo! Fingers crossed for no dead ants. No dead ants. No dead ant. The tiny hand can't cross their fingers. Let's see how this goes. Revealing. 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 Our ant queen is alive. And... good lord. Our ant queen has a lot of babies. Baby ants. I don't really think there's much that I can do in terms of kind of a music video to this, because really it's just going to be her sat there, twitching her antenna, looking at her babies. In this case, looking away from her babies, ignoring them entirely. Okay, there's a lot of eggs there. There's a lot more eggs than our Camponotus are pushing out. I believe there's a couple of larvae that I can see down at the bottom. I believe they are larvae. They're hatching. They are doing... Oop. How are you doing, ma'am? Don't eat your babies. So there's definitely some larvae. Definitely some larvae down in there. I can see 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 larvae. And the rest are eggs. She's doing a fantastic job. She is doing absolutely incredible at this. Like most mothers, when they're not eating their babies, they're fantastic. And it doesn't look like she's been, eating her own brood, which is absolutely incredible news. Most mothers in life aren't great if they eat their kids. Still early in the day, still only 26 degrees. Only. So there's easily more than about, 7 eggs there. So how many do you think there are? There's more than 3 larvae. More than 3 larvae. Definitely. But she's done fantastically. It's extremely hard to see how all of these babies fit inside of her. And she's still got a ways to go. She is going to continue pumping out these babies. Now I've got plans. I do have plans for these. They are not going to stay in a test tube for their entire lives, as you would probably hope. One of these plans is going to be setting up an enclosure that I kind of got planned out on my Patreon. That will be the nest room. But then a further idea from that is that these will generally prey upon smaller insects. They don't really tackle the larger ones, as it were. They go after fruit flies and the honeydew from aphids and such. So that gave me an idea. What if we have a secondary tub? Now this tub will be their feeding range or their hunting pastures, whatever we want to call it. But we find some aphids, remove them, and set up some sort of cattle ranch where the ants are the cowboys and the aphids are the cattle. Somehow in my mind, that will be incredible. I don't know how applicable that will be. I don't know how well it'll work. But if it does work, then I'll have a controlled area to film one of England's more kind of spectacular small world events. I find it absolutely fascinating to know that creatures of this size have the absolute capabilities to do farm in multiple different ways, but one of them is legitimate ranching. And that will be fantastic to catch. So that's the plan. We're going to set up a little tube system, have a couple of tanks. Well, you know what I mean where I say the nesting tank. So that'll be fun to make. I'll make that on another video. The fact that she's alive, the fact that she's actually pooing out so many babies is promising. Extremely, extremely promising, and I'm happy. Let's put her away. I don't want to stress her out with the studio lights more than is necessary. Let's slide you on that. Replicate being underground again. And then we pop her back up here under the protective watch of Pet Rock and Roll. So is that it for ant updates? No, we've got more ant updates. One, which is putting light onto a new era, and one which is going to be your problem, depending. Let's start with what we know and love. Our Camponotus colony. We'll keep an eye on them. First birth will be soon. And that brings us tightly onto what has become your problem. Coming this weekend is going to be the Western Invert Show, and if you don't know already, yours truly will be going. It's going to be in Bristol, which is just a short drive away for me. And this is where the ants become your problem. For I received a message from a friend to say that they have got an ant issue in their garden. What do they do? And I said, don't you worry, I'll come around and help you out with that ant problem. Long story short, I've bottled them up and I'm keeping them up there. So we've now got 10 test tubes full of Fight Club ants, because we can't talk about what they're called. So we now have a landlord's tub. What's a landlord's tub, you might ask? 10 ants only. These are Fight Club ants. There's 10 queens in here. I'll probably be keeping 2, which means that there's 8 that I need to get rid of. Now I'm happy to get rid of them at the Western Invert Show. Now I've got a couple of ideas of who's heading there, and I've got a couple of ideas who I'm going to sneak these into your bag. The nice thing is, if you don't want them, they're a native species. Yeet them into the garden. They'll be, don't yeet them, but like gently tap them. They'll be fine. You might be going to the Western Invert Show and thinking, he's not going to give me any. I'm going to sneak them in your bag. You'll never see them coming. And then you'll get home and be like, oh Christ, what's this test tube? Fight Club ant. And that'll be that. That's all you get. So let's take a look at our little ones. This one might be infertile. Let's do some ant learning. Okay. So, quite a large queen, but quite sporadic egg laying. You can see that it's kind of all over the place. That's indicative of an infertile female. Normally a fertile queen will lay all of her eggs in one place. So the fact that these are spread out quite a bit isn't promising for our luscious dump truck queen. Let's try another one as a better example. It's not definite. It's not definite. There have been ones like that where they do not, where they do hatch. There we go, right. That is what a fertile brood should look like. Packed together, beautifully protected. The motherly instinct is kicked in. She keeps them all in one place. It's easier to keep their climate controlled. The beautiful thing about these Fight Club ants are actually their abdomen. For such a simplistic ant, their abdomen is, well, very reflective. At some point seems very transparent almost. The reason behind that is tiny, tiny hairs. And these tiny hairs catch the light and refract it in different ways, causing it to, well, have this wonderful sheen to it. Let's just get around on here. Get another sneaky peek at those eggs. All this could be yours. 10 ants, one day, this Sunday, the 22nd of August. Get to Bristol. Get to the Western Invert Show. Something will come up on the screen now, just like between my hands here. Go there. Go to that. We'll meet up, we'll do a thing, and we'll dance. And that actually is it for our ant update. Our UPDANT. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Could work, but it didn't. That is it for our UPDANT. I'm going to keep it anyway. And as always, coming to the end of like, comment, and subscribe shows us that, you know, you like what we're doing, and the feedback makes me know what to do when we do the other things. And yeah, I don't know, pop over onto Patreon. It's slowly growing, and that's really where you can kind of influence what we do next, because I don't know what to do week to week. We just do it as it comes, and you sit there and you enjoy it, and then I go, oh, okay. We're at 600 subscribers. Let's keep it going. It's kind of going up quite nicely from there. I think we said 1,000 by the end of the year, so 400 in 4 months. It's going to be tight, but we can do it. Smash that like button, comment down below if you're heading to the Western Invert Show. Apart from that, spread love. There's so many eggs in the house, like I really don't know how many eggs there are going to be. It's kind of mad. Some of them are infertile, but some of them are fertile, and the campanoses keep dying, but now they're coming back to life, and they're former confused because they're just doing things, and I don't really know what to love.